Welcome back to the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show, brought to you by Salvatore's Pizza. On our specialties hotline is Mary Schwartz. She's a Fairport High School physical education teacher for 25 years. She's also the head coach of the Unified Basketball program for the past 3 years. She was a volunteer assistant. She's done Unified Bowling, and she's also our G&G Fitness Coach of the Week for all she's done, which we're going to talk about. Mary, welcome and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
How did you get involved with Unified? Because you've gone back with Adapted P.E. for a long time. Do you have to go to get a special certification for that, or did you start as P.E. and then went to Adapted P.E.? Give me a little bit of your history in P.E.
I did regular P.E., but always taught at least one class of adaptive P.E. Ever since I started here 25 years ago, and it's kind of one of my specialties now. I think it's kind of I have a pretty gift with them, I guess, trying to push them to that next level and get them to their maximum, as they get through high school. And then I started the Unified PE class about 3 or 4 years ago.
Mary, some of our listeners and viewers may not know exactly what Unified is. Could you give us the elevator version of Unified Sports and what it's become in Section 5?
Sure. Unified Sports and PE combines special education students or adaptive PE students with general education students, and it works like a buddy system. So we have athletes who are the special education students, and then we have the partners who are the general education students who kind of take a leadership role, and they work together to compete against other schools or run our PE class. It works very well to get the kids both to a really good level.
Can you describe some of the reactions you get from, first the kids who make a basket, they've never done that before in their life, or get a strike, and then the parents, and then even staff members who've never seen this, and kids. What's it like? I know from seeing it myself. How do you describe it?
It is just amazing when they score. Actually, the game the other day, we lost, and I've never had so much fun losing a basketball game in my whole life. But this one young man, number 21 from the other team, he had not scored the whole season, and he was a senior. And so I told the kids, don't play hard defense. Let's see if we can get him score. And he scored a basket. And then at the end of the game, we lost by 3, but he scored at the buzzer. And it was just incredible to see this young man be so excited to score and then score again right at the end. And it just really made his whole year. He actually went out of a game the week before because he was so disappointed that he hadn't scored this year. So to me, that was the highlight. And the parents get so excited, everybody stands up. And so many kids now want to be part of that program.
What about the dance parties?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
The halftime dance parties, if you haven't seen those videos, then you're not paying attention, right? Aren't they the best?
Yeah, the dance parties are really exciting. They're sometimes at halftime and sometimes after the game. We had a little bit lower key this year because of COVID, but towards the end of the season, it got pretty exciting. So they'll put some kind of random song on. And actually, this one hearing impaired student was on the dance floor, and a student whose brother plays on my team who has Down syndrome, she came out and was helping my hearing impaired student dance together. And I put that on my Facebook page, and it was pretty exciting to see that dance party. They just get so excited.
Some of the stuff that happens in the athletics portion of it, not the dancing, but whether it's bowling or basketball, I call them like mini JMAC moments. Mm-hmm. For these kids in their life, it's like a mini JMAC moment. And it's not going to go viral, or it might, but for what it means to those kids and those families, what surprises me sometimes is how it impacts the teenagers, like the able-bodied basketball player playing with a unified basketball kid. The impact it has on the teenagers. Have you found that it's more profound than I thought it'd be, Mary? How about in your school?
Yeah, I am really impressed with our teenagers because I think initially they think, oh, it's just unified. When the kids that haven't ever been to a game or think that you're just helping them. But I honestly think the teenagers that are the special ed students learn just as much as the gen ed students. They learn together, and they learn to just, they are highly competitive. Sometimes, especially in my unified PE class, they think it's like a low key kind of easy, class. And they're really shocked when all of a sudden you're playing a floor hockey game and it's really competitive. Like they want to win. And the gen ed kids get into it too. So it's highly competitive. It's not like it's not easy. It's fun and competitive and amazing, actually.
The gen ed kids, I mean, is some of the hope that they'll learn from this and become, volunteers in their communities here on out? Is that some of the base too? Because everybody that I know that's been associated with it says they get more out of it than they've ever put into it. And, is your hope it continues to lifetime of volunteerism and helping?
Yes, actually, I have a senior that is going into special education. I often have kids that ask me to write letters of recommendation that are going into education or working with students with special needs, or they have a sibling with special needs. And I've had siblings play together with the special ed and the gen ed kid, and that's a really fun thing.
I think Denny Freeze, longtime Monroe County administrator, Section 5 administrative leader, was very instrumental in bringing this to Section 5, as well as many things he's done. And I work at West Veronica. I can tell you that we won a national award, only one of like 150 schools in the country for our unified presence. And one of our seniors, Barbie Smith, has told me that where she's going to college, and I can't remember where, but she said, I'm going to try to start a unified program at the college. So the impact it's had on that young lady, I think she wants to kind of make this somewhat of her life's work. So it's pretty amazing to see that. Mary, do you have any history in your family at all with people with that are challenged or have some sort of disability, or is this just grew out of your regular phys ed job?
Well, I always loved it from the beginning, but I do have a nephew who has autism. He's actually been in the news for some of his stuff. His dad's Carl Schwartz, and so he's been in the news for him. But he's part of it. I have a nephew who was hit by a drunk driver, and he has a brain injury as well. And so I just have always, since high school, I had an interview once for something, and I remember saying I'd like to work with special education. So I think my heart's always been just wanting to reach out to those students. So it's a
message, Mary, for anybody that, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Do you have a message for anybody that maybe hasn't been to a unified game or hasn't seen it, what they can expect? And like I said before, everybody I know has gotten way more out of it than they've ever put into it.
I would just say, if you haven't been to one, you really need to go to one. If you're a young person and you would like to be part of a program, check with your school, and also college. I think Nazareth and Brockport have unified basketball teams at their school. And so some of my kids just found that out that are graduating, and they're really excited. So I would say get involved and try it. Don't be afraid. I've had kids that were afraid. Don't be afraid. It's actually wonderful. You will love it.
It's very rewarding, and we're happy to award you with our G&G Fitness Coach of the Week, our final of the school year. Mary Schwartz, thanks for being on our program.
Thank you so much.
Steve Bradley, that's a wrap for this season. Thank you for doing everything you have for our radio show, and can't wait to get back at it the fall. Steve, I'll give you the final word, sir.
Thank you, Jeff. It's been just a wonderful year. We didn't know where it would take us when we started in September, and it's been a wild ride, but a fun ride, and hope everybody has a great summer, and that we're talking to them again in September.
Let's do it all again in the fall. Thanks, Mary, and thanks, Steve Bradley.